Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. I'm out in the open just so you can see everything, but typically if you had a fighting position, it would not be out in the open. This could be a fighting position where you lay down, this could be a fighting position where you sit on your bottom, this could be a fighting position where you stand. It doesn't really matter, these principles are the same. Let me just show you quickly. If you set up a fighting position, you need first of all to determine what your sector is downrange. The reason is this. You want your other positions to your left and right to be able to cover all the terrain in front. You want to be interlocking fires so multiple positions can shoot at the enemy downrange, the little green men. Also, you want to put sector stakes up. They don't have to look like this. They're actually going to be probably a tree. Now there is a modified way of doing sector stakes by using sandbags, but we're not going to get into that right now. Sector stakes are needing to be, don't pick something metal or pick something where you accidentally during the night hit it and it rings out, but they need to be enough so you're going to get stopped and you do not shoot to your left limit. You do not want to shoot your friend that's in a position. And the same thing with this side. Make sure it's strong enough where it's going to stop, but not make a loud noise. Okay, we're going to go old school here. That's how I learned it at the beginning. We have no nods, or if our group has nods, we have a limited amount of nods. So at nighttime or low visibility, we can't see everything downrange. I want to talk first about grazing fire. Easiest way to do grazing fire is to set up a stick support like I have here. That way, when I'm in my position, I have good elbow places so I know where my elbows are supposed to go. That way I'm making sure my gun is parallel to the ground. If it's flat like down in Florida, this is the easiest thing for you guys to do. If you're in West Virginia, it's a little harder because it's not flat. So what I'm going to do is set my stick at 36 inches. You could go 2 feet and just raise up a little bit before. It doesn't matter. You know, really, if you wanted to, if this was a night position only, because you might have a day position and a night position to watch the same terrain down there, and you might switch at dusk. If that's the case, you could have 2 grazing fires. Or if you're looking downrange and you have a flat area plateau, you might set this one up for that plateau, but then a couple hundred yards further down, it rises up and then turns into another flat area where you might want to put grazing fire. So there's no rule that says you can have 2 of these. First one be the close, the second one be the farthest one. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is make sure I have a nice position where my elbows are going to fit so I know, put the weapon into your shoulder, and what I'm going to do is travel back and forth. This right here could have been a little higher so I know when to stop. I'm going to travel back and forth. I'm going to hit this side. If not, make sure that's big enough so you hit that side. So this is grazing fire. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to just keep over and over putting rounds downrange to keep the enemy. You might use grazing fire because you have some type of device down there, some type of tripwire device, or just because of sound, you can hear them coming. It's pitch black. I have no nods. You gotta be careful because you don't know what's downrange. Could be an animal coming. It could be friendlies. It might not be the little green men. So be careful with that. But that's the general gist with doing this grazing fire. Now, it's at nighttime. I have my range card in front of me. I'm looking down range. I can't see a single thing. But someone else has nods on and they say, hey, there's 7 Martians coming down the path. And they're going to come down the path and go into this big field I'm covering. So I'm going to switch over to this, put my weapon in, get behind it. Now this has been predetermined to be dead set on the path where it enters into the field. This is going to let me shoot at night. If you own property, try this out, please. Set up these sticks, set up your target downrange, shoot it during the day. Put a bunch of rounds downrange, 5, 6, 7. Get some good confidence in your stick system. Then at night, when it's totally dark, make sure it's safe downrange. Don't be shooting the neighbor's cow or your cows. Go ahead and get in your position, get your elbows where you had them before, do everything the exact same way, and put some rounds downrange. Yeah, it's not going to be probably as accurate, but put a big piece of cardboard down there or a big target. So that way you can say, oh wow, I was a 1.5 feet off. A 1.5 feet off is a lot better than not having this system and having no nods. You'll have no idea if you were just here, there's no, where's that location? Using this system, old school, you're gonna be close. So this one is set up. I have it written under here, and I pull that out. I just put path on it, just so I know. I have another one I can switch, and this one's to the tree in the center of the pasture. So if they take cover behind the tree, I can put rounds on the tree. Also, your grazing fire stick, you can write things on it. If you're sitting here and that rock is 710 meters, write it right here. You're going to have it also on your range card, but this is so much easier to look down at a range card. You can put degrees on here, so you can determine if something happens, you can call it in. There you go, you got a pile of trash in your pasture, 390 meters. That way, you will know how to adjust your scope or how to elevate or not elevate your weapon system. So this is old school. If you don't have nods, don't worry. Learn this. If you got property and you don't do this in the next 30 days, you're dead wrong. See how close you can get with these simple sticks. I'm so glad I have nods, but if I put positions in and I didn't have nods, I'd do this. I would still do it with nods because you never know when those nods might break, battery goes down, or in an emergency you might have to give your nods to someone else that has some contact over there, and that way at least you'll be confident in defending your sector from the little green men. Thanks for watching.